the Schmo with the pro, with the former world champion, the current head coach of American Kickboxing Academy. He's a living legend, Javier Mendez, in the flesh, Las Vegas, Nevada. How we doing?
We're doing good. I'm at Planet Hollywood again with my favorite guy, George Roger. Thanks, bud. You know, he's always hooking me up when I'm here at Planet Hollywood. George Roger, he's my host. He's the best.
Well, the Schmo wasn't going to give away your whereabouts because we know we got crazy fans, Thunder.
Oh, yeah, scratch. I'm at Caesar's Palace. Thanks to George for the hookup. Yep, Caesar's Palace. Yes, sorry.
A great
Caesar.
way to wet your whistle before the UFC returns here in 2023, January 14th. You got your guy making that card, that first one, number 11th ranked UFC Bantamweight. Umar Nurmagomedov against Raoni Barcelos.
Well, wetting my whistle or losing my money. Either way, I think it's losing my money. And, yeah, I'm here with Umar. He's looking fantastic everywhere. And expect a great fight from him on the 14th next week. And expect a victory from him. But you know what? The kid is unbelievable. He's got it all. I mean, he knows what he wants. He can put anything together. You want to stand with him, stand with you. You want to go to the ground and go to the ground. Whatever you want to do, he can do.
We talked about him a lot, especially in the Schmo Zone podcast, about him in the future contending for a Bantamweight championship belt. So obviously, if he gets this victory now, Coach Javier, how far away are we from, you think, him contending for gold in this organization?
Should we get by this fight, which I believe we will, well, hopefully we get another guy, and hopefully it's a top 5 guy. And then hopefully the UFC gods will give us the title shot after that one. But if not, maybe we'd dispatch that individual, whoever that may be, and then maybe the title fight. So I'm thinking on the best case, maybe we can pull off 3 fights this year and he gets a title at the end of this year. If not this year, then the next year, 2024, Umar, sorry, I'm saying Usman is his brother. Umar will be the UFC Bantamweight champion, and a guaranteed 2024, guaranteed maybe 2023, but 2024 he will be the Bantamweight champion. I guarantee it.
You heard it here, folks. Now talk to the Schmo for a second. If you look at the top of that division, we got Henry Cejudo and Aljamain Sterling. It hasn't been officially done yet, but a guy waiting in the wings, the number 1 contender, Suga Sean O'Malley, who won in Abu Dhabi. If you were to put yourself in Suga Sean O'Malley's shoes, would you sit out and wait for the title shot, or would you fight someone else? What would you do?
It depends on how he feels, you know. If Sugar wants a guaranteed title shot without jeopardizing his status, I would wait. You know, I would want to know what he feels. If he says, no, I want the title shot, then wait. If he says, no, I want to be busy, then take another fight. But I would say you taking another fight, it could be very risky, you know, because he is in that number 1 spot, right? So it could be very risky for him. So I would say, number 1, how do you feel about it? If he says, I want that shot, then I said, then do not take another fight. If he says, no, I want to keep busy, I don't want to wait for those guys, then take a fight. But I would say be careful because they know what you're about. They're gunning for your spot. So make sure you really, really want to do this. Because if they don't really want to do it, I mean, we've seen guys get derailed when they take a shot and they lose their opportunity. And I think Sugar, the little bit I know about him, I think he's a very intelligent fighter, and I think he knows what he wants, and he goes after what he wants. So only he's going to be able to answer that question correctly.
You think he's got a better shot at beating an Aljamain Sterling or a Henry Cejudo?
I say Aljo. Stylistically for him is a better fight because Henry's so well versed everywhere. He's good everywhere. You know, Aljo is real good too, but his stand-up is nowhere near O'Malley's level, I feel. You know, but his ground is, Aljamain's ground is incredible. But there's holes there on the stand-up, and Sean is, you know, obviously he's one of the better strikers. So I think Henry's the tougher go for him.
If we're to fast forward to February, UFC 284 in Perth, when you look at Alexander Volkanvski, what challenges do you think he possesses for your current champion, Islam Makhachev, at the 155-pound weight division?
You know, he possesses a lot of potential problems because number one, he's a champion. He's on a win streak. He's confident. He's pound for pound number one. He can strike. He can deal with the ground. He's not easy to take down. His confidence is rock solid. He's super strong, and there's only a 10-pound weight difference. It ain't that big of a deal when people talk about weight challenges. Well, you know, like I mentioned on another with Helen, I said, hey, you know, it's a 10-pound difference, not a 20-pound difference like a 185 and 205. That's a big difference. Okay, this is not as big a difference. So I don't see that as a big issue. When Islam won his fight with Charles and they came and faced each other off, I looked at Alex, I said, he's a big boy. He may be shorter, but he is not by any means, he's not chubby either. That boy's solid as a rock. So it isn't going to be a size thing. It's going to be a skill set thing.
Another name that came up in your interview with the great Helen Yee Sports was Usman Nurmagomedov. The Schmo sees you sporting that Bellator t-shirt right there. Quite a bit of a luxury. You're getting two guys champions in two different organizations, the 155-pound weight division. So how competitive are those training sessions? And do you foresee both these guys with years, I'm talking years, the Schmo's talking years, for title reigns for both these men?
Well, with Usman, you know, I told Scott Coker years ago, I said, if you could never get him, that's a superstar. I go, you want that kid in your roster. He is charismatic. He is, you know, like I said, the Dagestan Luke Rockhold. You know, he's good looking. He's got charisma. He's witty. He listens really well. I mean, he can kickbox. He can wrestle. He's jiu-jitsu, sambo. He's got the whole package, you know. To me, the limit is what Usman wants. Does Usman want to be one of the greatest fighters of all time? He can be that. You know, he's definitely got all the characteristics. If I'm not mistaken, he was just voted the best prospects 25 years and under. He was number one. Hands down, he should be number one. No one's even close to him in the under 25 category. And he's 24 and he's already champion. Expect many more great things from him. I expect a giant superstar. I really expect a giant superstar from Usman. And I believe it's going to happen because people see what I see, you know, the superstar.
How has the former UFC heavyweight champion, your good buddy, Cain Velasquez, keep his positivity and his spirit up? We know you got the podcast you're working on with him. What's it been like interacting with him and how he's keep the spirits so high?
Well, you know, the times I've seen Cain, he's with his son. He's just playing with his kids, you know, his daughter and his son. And his boy runs him like crazy, takes his phone away from him. I mean, jumps all over him. And he's got the greatest demeanor with his boy. It's just like you look at that and you go, wow, that is a father. And that's the kind of father I would want. To have a father like him. I mean, the way that attention he gives his children is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and it's just so much real love, you know. And the kids love him to death. And for me, it's very happy, big happy moment for me to watch him interact with his boy and his girl.
And some big news broke today in mixed martial arts. Jake Paul announcing signing with the PFL. What do you make of Jake Paul coming to the sport of mixed martial arts?
I think the PFL signing Jake Paul is the best move they've ever done. Best move they've ever done. I think that Jake Paul is going to bring more eyeballs, more attention to the PFL, and the right matchups. Jake Paul, now nobody's talking about Jake Paul not being legit. Before they used to, and I used to always talk positive about him. No, he's legit. A bunch of my guys were saying, a lot of my friends were going, you know what you're talking about. I go, okay, well, I had the cheat code, right? I had BJ Flores send me video of Jake Paul and showing me stuff, and I'm like going, whoa, this kid's legit. And his work ethic, Jake Paul's work ethic is second to none as far as a fighter. You know, he's a true fighter. So you can't look at him as a YouTuber guy. No, this is a real fighter. He took it serious, not like his brother Logan. His brother Logan didn't take it as serious. Therefore, talent-wise, he's probably just as talented, but Jake took it serious. So his mental mindset is, I want to be good at this. I want to be champion at this. And therefore, the results are in the pudding. And him and his brother are masterminds at marketing and bringing themselves out to light. And look what he's done. I mean, everybody doubted him. I've never doubted him. The only thing I did think is he could be in trouble with Anderson, and he almost got in trouble. But other than that, clearly, he's a stud, man.
The Schmo heard you say the word champion. Do you think Jake Paul can be a champion in mixed martial arts?
I don't know there. I just think he has the mindset of a champion. It depends on what Jake Paul wants. If Jake Paul says he wants to do that, he has the potential to do it. But that's going to take years. It's not going to be overnight. It's going to take years. Just like boxing, right? Where he's at in boxing. How many years has he been boxing? 3-4 years, or longer, right? Well, if you get into mixed martial arts, it's going to be a tough road. So it's got to be the right matches for him and the right scenario. But he has to want to do it. If he wants to do it, I think there's no limit to what he can do if that's what he wants to do. But he's just got to get the right training.
Speaking of training, he's brought up training at AKA a few months back. Has that conversation taken place? Would you guys have Jake Paul train at AKA?
I don't know. He's never asked. I mean, he's said, he's mentioned it on social media, but he's never asked us. So I don't know. But there's a routine we go through to get accepted. It have to be through the coaches and through the fighters. So if there's any particular fighter in our camp that doesn't want disruption from that individual, then he won't get allowed in. So I don't know. He's never asked.
So would they have to make this vote before he ever stepped foot inside the gym, or would he have a practice session and then afterwards he leaves, there's closed doors, you guys vote? How would that work out?
No, he'd have to ask first, and then I would ask the coaches, then I would have a team meeting, and then we would talk about it, and if he would get accepted, he gets accepted. So I don't know what would happen because he's never asked,
Would you want to coach him if he was accepted? Would you coach him directly if he was accepted by the team?
I don't know what I would do personally. I like him. I think he's a good kid. I think he's good for the sport, a fight sport. But I don't know my involvement. I don't know what I would do as far as my involvement. I can't say yes. I can't say no, and because it's all talk, right? And so for me, I don't know him on that level either. So I don't know if I would take him or wouldn't. He just never asked.
Can we get a final message for all the Javier Mendez fans out there worldwide?
Final message is tune in to Jav and Cain's podcast. I'm not sure what we're going to call it, but I keep changing the name. So if you guys can think of a cool name that you can think of, then think about that. We'll be talking about basically all martial arts related subjects, lucha libre and martial arts. Cain is an encyclopedia of knowledge. He's extremely knowledgeable. And I think the more people see Cain, the more people will love Cain.
One of the greatest to ever enter the octagon, and also he's a great professional wrestler, as you mentioned. He's the pro. I'm the Schmo, Las Vegas, Nevada. We're out.